and we'll also add some more depth and play with the saturation to blend it in with the overall composition. So if we zoom in to the main image, let's just hide the layers panel there. What we'll need to do is create a selection to cut out the garments of the basketball player, making sure that we have the pen tool selected, or P for pen tool. So I'm just going to go around the player, making sure I stay just outside of the garment, and going back onto the main image. Let's just go around the neck, making short sharp paths, and again inside the arm, making sure that we don't go inside the layer, otherwise we need to paint it out later on. And again, I'm going to create a second selection by going around the first sock. Let's go back around again, close that, and again the other sock, staying just outside the white area, and let's go back around and close that. Okay, so let's zoom out with Command minus. What we need to do is choose the direct selection tool. So if you click and hold, you'll get the option here. I'm going to create a rectangle and select all of the nodes. Go back to the pen tool, so that's P for pen, right click, and I'm going to make a selection. Press OK, open the layers panel, and what I'd like to do is extract the selection from the basketball player. Quickest way is Command or Control J. So we now have a duplicate of the area that we've selected. Let's call that garments, and I'm also going to duplicate the basketball player and hide that, so we can preserve this if we need to make any changes to any of these layers at a later date. So let's close this, making sure we have the garment layer selected. Let's go to the image option, adjustments, and let's invert the layer to make it black. Now what we'll need to do is we need to change the levels to darken the overall garment layer. So let's press Command L or Control L, or go to the adjustments levels panel. Let's bring the left slider down and the mid slider. Let's play with that to see what we get. Now I think it's important to keep some of the highlights, so I'm going to leave it around about there. Press OK. Then I'm going to zoom in, spacebar to navigate. I'm going to make sure that we get rid of the white areas around the selection that we've chosen. Now you can see there's some white here, some white there, which is, I presume, the layer underneath that we got the selection from. And I'm also going to darken the socks. Now the best way to do that without affecting the whole image is to choose the burn tool. Make sure your brush is medium size, and let's just paint in and darken that area there and this area here. Just take out some of the highlights. That's good. Now let's go back to our layers panel. Let's choose the layer underneath, and let's make sure that the transparency is locked, the pixels are locked. And what I'm going to do is make sure that I have black selected as my main color. Make the brush slightly smaller. And I'm going to paint the layer underneath and make sure that the black is coming through, so there's no white edges. That's either the layer underneath or it's the actual main garment layer that we've chosen, but I presume for the most part it's the layer underneath, because we've got rid of some of the white there. Let's choose the layer on top, make the brush slightly smaller. Let's see if we can paint away some of the black there. That's looking better. Let's continue there, and let's go to this section of the image, choose a basketball layer. Let's increase the brush slightly. Now we can do this using the burn tool, or if you choose a regular brush you'll probably get a more immediate effect. So let's choose a normal brush and let's just paint that area black there, and here again you can see it's just taking out the white, and here as well. Let's just go around the image and take out any of the white edges, and at the top as well. There we go. And let's choose the garment layer and make sure there's no white on the edges there that we would have missed when we cut the selection out. Again, make sure it's important to let's go back there. It's important to make sure that the garment layer has the transparency locked, otherwise you'll paint outside of the image. So let's just paint that in there, paint that in. Let's scroll down and get rid of some of the white here, which is looking much better. And let's paint in this area here. As you can see, we've got some white on the socks we can paint in. Which is looking much better, and the top of the sock. Let's paint that in there as well. And this sock, let's just continue there and darken that and the top of the sock there. That's looking much better. Let's zoom out. Right, so let's go back to our layers. Make sure the garment layer is selected. What I'd like to do is play with the hue and saturation. So let's go to Image, Adjustments, Saturation, or Command or Control U. Let's bring down the saturation slightly so we can take out some of the green. Let's bring it right down to about there. It's looking good. That's looking much better. And what I'd like to do is choose this layer here, go to our burn tool, increase the brush size slightly, and just darken the black areas of the shoe slightly. We're going to play with this more in the next lesson, but for now I'm just going to begin by darkening the shadows. That's looking good. So what we'll do in our next lesson is we will play with the levels, the hue saturation and the overall contrast of the main player to blend him in more with the background and create some real contrast and atmosphere